customer, get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months. Click, call, or visit a store today.
A stranger rushed into a burning home to save a mother and child.
They couldn't find their little brother, and their mom was inside.
Tonight, he shares his story about those heroic moments and what pushed him into action.
It's not only buying a house in Utah that is hard right now, also renting. We speak to an Ogden woman who listed her basement, and in just 2 days, she had over 100 applicants.
A hazy day today. Coming up, your weekend air quality forecast and the timing of our next front.
People need relief at this point in time.
The fate of the food tax in Utah hangs in the balance.
I don't like paying a sales tax on food either. I don't blame people.
And the push to repeal it may not be dead just yet.
It's a classic ballet with a new take on the leading roles.
I think it would definitely inspire the next generation.
Why playing this part means so much to the lead dancers at Ballet West and beyond.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
Tonight, we're learning more about the heroic rescue of a woman and her young son from a house fire near Green River, Wyoming. Kelly?
Bob, this man, Ryan Passborg, just happened to be driving by. He noticed the fire and he rushed in to help. Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph spoke to Ryan tonight. He joins us live from outside the University of Utah Burn Center with the exclusive interview. Spencer.
Bob, Kelly Passborg has been called a hero since this happened Tuesday morning. I spoke with him about an hour ago and asked him a few questions about how this happened, as well as all the community support that's happened since.
I get up every morning. I work on the rigs here in Wyoming. Tuesday morning, I was running a little late. Seen flames about a mile down the road. Went racing down the road and pulled into the driveway, and 3 kids come out of the garage door, and I asked them if anybody else was inside, and they said that they couldn't find their little brother and their mom was inside. It was full of smoke, very, very dark. Got down on my hands and knees and crawled for a little ways, and that's when I bumped into the little boy. I instantly scooped him up, made my way back out the house. I put everybody in my truck to stay warm because it was about a negative 10 degrees. Made my way back into the house, and that's when I found the mom, unresponsive. Pulled her out of the house, did some life-saving measures, was able to bring her back to life.
What has the community support been like in the wake of all of this?
The community support, that's one thing I love about living in the area I do. The community here is unreal.
You know, they are all right behind me at the University of Utah and alive tonight because of you. What's your message to that family and to everything that they've gone through?
And my message is to them is they'll forever have a place in my heart. I was put there for a reason. The beautiful woman sitting next to me is my hero. She's made me the man I am today. I love my family, and I would do it again for anybody. I'm just human. I just did what I felt was right and what I hope somebody would do for me in the same situation.
Those 2 are recovering behind me at the University of Utah this evening. Now, a GoFundMe page has been set up for their family, and the family is asking for privacy at this time, but they also say they're so grateful for the massive amount of community support that's come to them in the wake of this tragedy. Now, Ryan also tells me that they formed a lasting relationship with this family, even going as far as to say next year they're going to have Thanksgiving as the 2 families together, and getting emotional about saying he was at the right place at the right time. Now, right after this, we're going to get that GoFundMe page up on our website if you want to help. And of course, there will be other ways to help as well, and we'll keep you updated on all of those ways and the conditions of those family members. But for now, live in Salt Lake City, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Spencer, thank you so much. A man believed to be behind a stabbing at a Salt Lake City apartment complex earlier this week is now behind bars in Oregon after he led troopers on a chase this morning. At one point, 46-year-old Daniel Etherington was driving the wrong way on Interstate 84. He then hit one of their vehicles before leaving the freeway and driving across an open field. Troopers say he stopped before he crashed into a ditch and then was taken into custody without further incident. It is expected that he'll be extradited back to Utah.
The Utah County Fraternal Order of Police has issued a declaration of no confidence for County Attorney David Levitt. This comes after sheriff's deputies say Levitt asked them to ignore the law during a traffic stop involving this man, his handyman. The letter states Levitt has failed to provide for the safety and protection of county residents through proper enforcement. They, quote, request and encourage all residents to not re-elect David Levitt in 2022. Levitt has spent weeks ignoring requests for comment. A Utah doctor died in a skiing accident at Solitude Mountain Resort yesterday.
Resort officials and police say 38-year-old Dr. Andrew Gagnon was skiing Ortavox Chute off Evergreen Peak when he skied off a cliff and fell about 100 feet. They say he then tumbled down the steep slope through rocks and trees for several hundred more feet. He was pronounced dead at the resort.
Gagnon lived in Cottonwood Heights and worked as a transplant surgeon for Intermountain Healthcare. The hospital says he played a big role in growing its transplant program and saved hundreds of lives.
Well, if your apartment lease is up soon, you may have to search high and low for somewhere to live.
Fox 13 News reporter Eliana Sheriff shows us what we can expect moving forward.
Well, the good news is in 2020, rents hardly went up at all. The bad news is in 2021, they went up for 2 years worth, and that's about 10 to 15% on average.
Many Utahns feeling the pack of that rental increase punch.
Well, certainly we're seeing more people renting than ever before.
We know the housing market is hot right now. In fact, some would say it's overvalued. That has forced a lot of prospective buyers to rent. About 34% of Utahns are renting right now. I spoke to an Ogden woman who listed her basement, and in just 2 days, she had about 100 applicants.
We rent the basement out because we can't afford it.
Trisha Englert bought her Ogden home right before the pandemic. She recently listed her 2-bedroom basement on Facebook Marketplace.
It was a lot. It was extremely chaotic, and I had to set my phone down at one point and just leave it alone because my phone just kept going off and going off.
In 2 days, she had about 100 applicants desperate for a place to live.
There were people that I had to say no to who were about to be homeless, who were packing up their stuff, getting ready to have to move out.
Paul Smith with the Utah Apartment Association says we're not going to see a drop anytime soon.
With inflation at 7 to 8%, just expect regular rent increases for the next few years. Owners' prices are going up, their labor costs are going up, their supply and materials is going up, and so they have to pass that on just to survive.
The cost of rent is only going up about half as fast as home prices, so Paul says it's becoming relatively more affordable to rent than to own, but he knows that's little consolation.
The main factor is we don't have enough supply. We have too much demand for the supply that we have, too many people looking for the limited number of apartments, and that's driving prices. Now, it's not driving them nearly as fast as home prices are going up.
And there are still some things you can do if you are feeling hopeless.
Well, one great thing is we still have several $100 million in rental assistance.
In Ogden, Eliana Sheriff, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Anyone making 80% or less of the annual median income of their county is eligible for the government to pay 12 to 15 months of rent. If you make more than that, the Utah Apartment Association says you will have to negotiate with your landlord.
Happy Friday, everyone. What about that weekend forecast? Do you have big plans? Meteorologist and Utah Weather Authority Allison Krogan is here to maybe help you out with some of those social engagements. Al?
Yes, we're starting to get some more haze building up here in the valley, so if you're starting to have a hard time breathing and you have asthma, this is why. It didn't look too hazy today, but Ogden down through the Salt Lake Valley, moderate air. We're starting to lean towards that orange level. A few of those starting to pick up out towards West Valley and Kearns. That's unhealthy for sensitive groups, but mainly moderate air, Utah County all the way down through Payson up through Provo and Lehigh. Beautiful night tonight. This picture coming in on our Facebook group from Jason. Thank you so much. From the Capitol. Downtown Salt Lake right now, a live view from our Tribune camera. Here in Salt Lake, it's 26 degrees at the airport. Feels like 19 degrees though, because we have wind out of the north at about 5 miles per hour. And we have some clouds starting to move in right near the Nevada and Idaho borders. So we have a mainly dry front moving through tonight, or I should say just a dry cold front moving through tonight. We'll see the clouds as really the main thing from that system. Temperatures really aren't going to be noticeably cooler tomorrow either. It'll actually be a little bit warmer than we've been all week. So at 10 o'clock tonight, 27 degrees, by 8 a.m., 23. At noon tomorrow, close to 40 degrees. Let's talk about weekend air quality and do we have any storms on the way? Coming up in your Super 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Al. Today, the Department of Energy announced funding for geothermal electricity projects for certain states, and Utah's one of them. $20 million will be able to help companies interested in making the move to geothermal energy. It's another form of heat extraction, not unlike drilling for fossil fuels. That is something the department is trying to reduce because geothermal is cleaner.
Utah, for example, has amazing geothermal resources, but there is a lot more that Utah could do to pull that energy up and make sure that it goes onto the electric grid. So right now, drilling can take up to 50% of the cost of a geothermal project. And we want to reduce that cost so that geothermal becomes as abundant as wind and solar.
Granholm says the heat is closer to the service in the West, like in Utah. Geothermal energy is cheaper and easier to access.
It's going to have some real impacts on real families.
Cutting sales tax on the essentials may still be on the table. The new developments from Utah's Capitol Hill.
I think we're sitting really good with our opportunity to get the bid.
The Republican National Committee is in Salt Lake City this week. What they're saying about bringing their national convention here in 2024.
I really hope to be an inspiration to young dancers.
The latest production from Ballet West is making history. We'll take you behind the curtain of Romeo and Juliet.
And after spending the last 8 games on the sidelines, Utah Jazz star Donovan Mitchell is back on the court. How he's performing against the Nets, still ahead in Fox 13 Sports.
I went there for treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, and I was traumatized the whole time I was there.
From the second I got there, I knew I'm being exploited. Abuse happens. It's still happening.
It was so unfair, and I felt so powerless.
Money is the primary driving factor for them.
It's a perpetual problem, and who's responsible for it?
The facility needs to be shut down.
This place is bad.
Smith's delivery is always fresh because we check our produce at every stop on its journey to you. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
If you have less than perfect credit, buying a car can be a little
scary.
But at Marcosian Auto, if you have a job and a license, you're approved.
Guaranteed.
So don't get jerked around.
Get approved.
Arby's, 2 for $6. Every day, 2 beefs, 2 cheddars, together. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
Well, someone's not doing their job.
Okay, let's keep going. Shopping for the game can be a minefield for young homeowners who have turned into their parents.
Can you believe how many different types of water they have in this aisle? Kim, did you just change blades back there? This is perfect. Jackpot, variety pack.
Remember, it's a football game, not a play date.
Roger that. 1 more slice.
It can be a lot.
Oh, good, the manager. Brian and Produce, very helpful.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Pulls to the left a little bit. Nope.
At Smith's, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales for prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
The buzz of the Beijing Winter Olympics has kicked into high gear after the opening ceremonies today. Fox 13 News got to sit down with someone used to a front row seat. Dr. Andrew Cooper of Salt Lake City is an orthopedic surgeon who's been the head physician for the U.S. free ski team since 2011. This will be his third Olympic Games with the team.
And these athletes are great to deal with. We have probably the best athletes, I think, in managing their injuries and getting them through that and how they handle it. And so I'm excited to see them compete, even with all the things they've been through.
Free skiing is where athletes come down a slope-style course with rails and jumps, as well as the halfpipe. Cooper says this year they're adding an event called Big Air. Athletes will be judged based on the tricks done in one large jump.
I'm amazed with all the work that they do. It just amazes me of how much work that we have to do to keep a school running. And sometimes I think as a public, we don't think of all the little things that keep the glue that holds everything together.
A Jordan District board member is taking matters into his own hand to help schools during the ongoing worker shortage. The Jordan School District is down 18 to 20 custodians, and the head custodian at Mountain Ridge High School says being short 32 man-hours every day makes it difficult to keep the building clean. That's why Daryl Robinson stepped in. He now takes every Friday off, using his own vacation time to help where it's needed most, whether that's subbing in a classroom or riding the floor waxing machine around the halls.
It is Black History Month, a time where people and organizations all across the country celebrate diversity. Here at home, Ballet West is changing the face of prima ballerinas, a step in the direction they say they want the company to continue. In a rehearsal room tucked in a building next to their home stage at Capitol Theater, Ballet West exudes grace among a varied and talented company.
And I have such a wonderful, unique, and diverse group of artists here at Ballet West that I wanted to celebrate all of them.
Adam Skloot, artistic director at Ballet West, has assembled not only premier performers, but an atmosphere behind the scenes and on stage representative of the world today.
I want to produce on the stage the kind of world that I want to live in, where there are people of all races, of all ethnicities, living together, working together, and being together.
Classical ballet was born several hundreds of years ago in the imperial courts of Northern Europe. An art form dominated by white dancers in leading roles, but that is dramatically changing nationwide and visibly at Ballet West.
It's a priority of ours, and so it's something that we just want to continue to build and grow and celebrate.
In the upcoming production of Romeo and Juliet, the lead role of Juliet is split among two dancers, a Black woman and a Latina.
I do feel like now in 2022, there has been a great progression in a lot of the classical ballet companies.
Caitlin Addison has been a principal artist at Ballet West for 10 years. She says dancing the part extends beyond the final curtain.
Getting the opportunity to dance Juliet as a Black woman, I think it would definitely inspire the next generation of ballerinas. The power of seeing somebody that looks like you can inspire you to dream big and to know that all things are possible.
Jenna Herrera feels the same.
When the audience comes to the ballet, they see all kinds of people on stage, and I think it makes it more relatable.
Cast as a co-Juliet, due to the demand and amount of shows, she too will grace the stage as the leading lady, leading the way for young dreamers.
I really hope to be an inspiration to young dancers or just really any young child who has dreams and thinks that they can't do it just based off maybe where they came from or the color of their skin. If you have a dream, don't set any limitations.
And just like the story of two star-crossed lovers in Romeo and Juliet, Ballet West sees symbolism in the deeper underlying tones of how tragic a divisive situation can be. Changing the face of the company with diversity and perhaps on point to promote change even further.
I hope that this ballet can help people see that we should be celebrating each other's differences and loving one another for who we are as people more than anything else.
Ballet West's opening night of Romeo and Juliet is February 11th at the Capitol Theater. It runs through February 19th with a single night performance in Park City on February 26th.
Well, a beautiful night here in Salt Lake City, and an even more beautiful picture coming in on our Facebook group, Utah's Weather Authority. Eric just posted this. He has some sort of magnificent setup in his backyard with telescopes, always taking wonderful pictures, great photography skills. I mean, look at this view tonight. Beautiful out there. We're going to see some additional clouds moving in, so hard to do a little bit of stargazing in the middle of the night as our clouds continue to move through central Utah by 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'll wake up with partly cloudy sky here along the Wasatch Front. That will continue to move south throughout the day, but temperatures first thing tomorrow morning close to 20 for Salt Lake, Provo, and Ogden. And then as you can see by 3 o'clock, we're close to 40 degrees here along the Wasatch Front. And that is actually going to bring us more sunshine during the afternoon hours for northern Utah, and southern Utah will see some additional cloud cover during the afternoon. We've got a dry, cold front moving through tomorrow. That's what the clouds will be associated with. St. George, you're close to 55 degrees for Saturday. By Sunday, 60, 61 on Monday, then close to 65 to 70 Tuesday through Friday next week. Overnight temps right around freezing here along the Wasatch Front. In your Super 7-day forecast, if you've never seen our Super 7-day, it's pretty cool because we can just click on each day, go a little more in depth for you. So tomorrow, low 40s for a high. We'll make it into the 40s, but not until after lunchtime tomorrow. So first half of the day will be in the 20s and 30s. And then by Sunday, 40, we'll have air quality for Saturday and Sunday at that moderate level with voluntary action for the Salt Lake Valley. By Monday, temperatures in the mid 40s here in Salt Lake City. Overnight temps will continue to be close to 20 degrees the next few nights. Top headlines, moderate air quality, close to average temperatures until next week. We start warming up a little bit above average. And then we'll have a few additional dry fronts in the next week. Clouds at times Saturday morning, Sunday morning. By Tuesday, 45 degrees for a high here in Salt Lake, and our chance of precipitation is dismal over the next several days. As you can see here, it's pretty non-existent in the next week. Temperatures by the end of next week into the upper 40s. Coming up later in the hour, I'll have your 10-day forecast, and that will include this weekend's forecast and next weekend's forecast.
Allison, thanks. Straight ahead, we'll show you around the newest addition to the Salt Lake International Airport, a lounge for military personnel and their families.
Plus, Utah students put their Braille skills to the test for a chance to compete on a national stage.
13's Dream Team is fulfilling the dreams of amazing people in our community.
I can't believe it.
Powered by the generosity of Mountain America Credit Union, with support from Woodside Homes and Macy's. We're changing lives.
Enjoy our gift of mortgage payments for the rest of 2019.
Nominate a deserving person at fox13now.com.
Welcome home. What do you think? I love it.
It's amazing.
And enjoy the heartwarming stories we share each month.
This is what the Dream Team's all about.
We've been cooking up this kitchen design for a while.
So it's going to be perfect.
Okay, that pattern works.
Wow, this whole look works.
And at a price that really works.
I think our work here is done.
At Floor & Decor, our helpful associates and free in-store design services add to your experience, not your expenses. And with an unmatched selection of high-quality products, all at everyday low prices, creating the kitchen to match your taste has never been easier. Discover Floor & Decor today.
How y'all feeling tonight? Raise your hand if you are sick of dancing like nobody is watching.
Tree makeup, got favor. African American, bold by nature. Rhythm and blues is the way that we flow. Elevate the culture because we dripping with soul. We've been through pain.
I'm too far to give up now.
Life is about coming back from a punch.
Together we can change the world.
I think it's time to show them how it's done.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is everything.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's just beginning. We are having the best time. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, now
that is just way too much pretty.
Hi, I'm Robert Christian, local owner of Renewal by Anderson. We make window replacement an easy process from start to finish. Get peace of mind with our exclusive FiberX materials, endless color and style options, and one of the strongest warranties in the business. Save big, $299 off per window, $799 off per patio door, plus no money down, no interest, no payments for 24 months. That's 2 years, same as cash. Call today.
Join meteorologist Breck Bolton, weekends on Fox 13.
Military leaders were at the Salt Lake International Airport today celebrating the 81st birthday of the USO and to open the organization's newest center.
1, 2, 3.
The USO has more than 50 lounges at airports across the country and abroad. They give military personnel and their families a chance to relax while traveling. This is the first USO center to open in Utah since World War II.
Some Utah students took their first steps today to joining the best Braille users in the entire country. The Utah Division of Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired hosted the Braille Challenge Utah. 17 students who are blind or have low vision from around the state typed, read, and corrected a series of Braille assignments. Students who do well at the Braille Challenge Utah have the chance to take on other students at the National Braille Challenge later this year. Could Utah host the Republican National Convention?
This is a huge event, second only to the Olympics here in the state.
After a tour of Salt Lake City, what party leaders say could land Utah at the top of the list?
I don't like paying a sales tax on food either. I don't blame people.
A push to repeal the sales tax on food may not be dead yet.
Coming up, what new unemployment numbers tell us about the strength of the American workforce and Utah's?
And after 8 games away, Donovan Mitchell is back. But will it help the Jazz tonight? Later in Fox 13 Sports.
Okay, it's go time. Team USA on the largest gig speed network, which means this mega fan never misses a second. It's gig speed Wi-Fi that's Michaela Schifrin fast.
Okay, that's fast.
Speed's cool, but does yours block threats?
Yep, even for these upstairs all-nighters rocking Wi-Fi speeds faster than a gig. Can your internet do that?
Learn more about gig speed Wi-Fi or get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months. Click, call, or visit a store today.
I went there for treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, and I was traumatized the whole time I was there.
You know, even from the second I got there, I knew, like, I'm being exploited.
I feel it's my job as a therapist to be an advocate for these patients.
Unfortunately, the training that we were given was a lot of restrain first, talk later.
A very low percentage of them were actually getting the care that they needed.
It was so unfair, and I felt so powerless.
Money is the primary driving factor for them. They treated every single person there, staff and patients included, like a number.
It's a perpetual problem, and who's responsible for it?
The facility, in my opinion, needs to be shut down.
This place is bad.
Fox 13 investigates. Patients unprotected. Monday at 9 on Fox 13 News.
Fox 13 invites you to go red for women.
Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, claiming more lives than all forms of cancer.
The American Heart Association's Go Red for Women movement is about taking charge of your health. Eat smart, exercise regularly, and manage your stress.
And know your numbers, blood pressure, cholesterol, and body mass index. Let's make a change today so we're here tomorrow.
Learn more at goredforwomen.org or fox13now.com.
Behind every story at Newsy, there is the why.
You've seen the headlines, but what's really behind the rise in prices?
Because when you ask the why behind the news, the world opens up before your eyes. The Why, weeknights at 8, only on Newsy. Newsy. Watch free national news 24/7. Rescan your TV antenna to find Newsy or stream live. Learn more at newsy.com.
On February 6th. History will be made in the fabled LA Coliseum. The Clash opens the NASCAR season. And on February 20th, the Great American Race returns with the Daytona 500.
Members of the Republican National Committee have been meeting and touring Salt Lake City this week, considering whether to bring their 2024 convention here.
Fox 13 News reporter Chris Arnold spoke with party leaders about what they saw here and what could tip the odds in Utah's favor.
I hope you've had a wonderful time here in Salt Lake. So thank you to our host city.
The Republican National Committee wrapping up their winter meeting in Salt Lake City, but there's potential for the RNC to be back in 2024. 8 cities put in bids to host the next Republican National Convention. That list has been whittled down to 4, with Salt Lake City included.
The site selection had a great time, and everybody, they came out. We had a good time with them Monday night. We showed them the city. Really gave them a sense of what Salt Lake is.
The Utah Republican Party says hosting the convention, which has never been done in Salt Lake City before, would have a huge economic impact.
That'd be phenomenal. I mean, just revenue alone, they're looking at over $200 million to the local economy over that 10 days. I mean, this is a huge event, second only to the Olympics here in the States.
National Republican officials also pointing to the Winter Olympics held here back in 2002. They say that's an indicator of why serious consideration is being given by the site selection committee on bringing the convention here in 2024.
All of the cities that we are narrowed it down to have shown that they can put on a convention. And the things that really matter are hotels, infrastructure in terms of transportation, ease of getting in and out, restaurants, entertainment venues.
While this week was used to sell the Republican Party on the idea of Salt Lake City hosting their convention, local Republican officials say the feedback they received has been positive.
I think we're sitting really good with our opportunity to get the bid.
The site selection committee will eventually make a recommendation to the RNC's full body, who ultimately vote and determine who will host the next Republican National Convention. I'm told that decision is expected later this year. In downtown Salt Lake City, Chris Arnold, Fox 13 News, Utah.
At today's meeting, the National Republican Committee censured Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney and Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger. Both had voted to impeach then-President Donald Trump and participated in the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. In addition to issuing the censures, the GOP also adopted a resolution that described the insurrection of January 6th, 2021, and the events leading up to it as, quote, legitimate political discourse.
We have to work together. Us as Republicans and as a Republican Party, our job is to elect Republicans to office. And we have to start learning that we can see differences, and it goes both directions, that we may have differences, but that doesn't mean that we can't get along, and that doesn't mean that we attack and persecute our own.
Not all Republican leaders are on board with the decision. Republican Senator Mitt Romney wrote, "Shame falls on a party that would censure persons of conscience."
I think we're winning when we do tax cuts in general. And so I don't think the conversation about the food tax is over.
Some interesting comments there from House Speaker Brad Wilson about the fate of the food tax in Utah. Meanwhile, more tax proposals are advancing on Utah's Capitol Hill.
Fox 13 News reporter Ben Winslow reports on how it affects your bank account.
House Speaker Brad Wilson signaled discussion on eliminating the state sales tax on food is not over, but it may have to wait.
I'm still open to having those conversations. It's probably not this year that tax will come off, but maybe down the road. I don't like paying a sales tax on food either. I don't blame people.
We agree on that one, and I'm excited to hear that.
One of the sponsors of that bill says she's glad the speaker isn't closing the door, but wants it considered now.
People need relief at this point in time. We all know that inflation is at an all-time high, or at least for the last 40 years, and also food prices are on the rise. People need relief now, and this would be the quickest way that we as a legislature can give this to the people of Utah.
Supporters of eliminating the sales tax on food have been telling people to pressure lawmakers to have it heard on Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, lawmakers are moving ahead with an income tax cut.
It's going to have some real impacts on real families. Now, we're still being conservative about what we do with that. We're going to take a measured approach.
But it's not the only tax break lawmakers have tucked into the bill to win over some critics.
Earned income tax credits, additional cuts for Social Security, and those types of things.
It won over the governor's support.
Governor Cox will do what is needed to help make this happen.
The bill cutting the state income tax now heads to the full House of Representatives for a vote. On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Also on the Hill, the Utah Attorney General's office is opposing a bill to repeal the death penalty and replace it with 45 years to life sentences. The AG's office says it's not sure that is constitutional, and they believe capital punishment serves as a deterrent.
We need to reserve the death penalty for the worst of the worst. It doesn't deal with persons who pose a continuing threat.
Well, House leaders say the bill will be heard, but the Speaker signaled his opposition. The Senate President says he's trying to keep an open mind.
January was a good month for jobs nationwide, but did Utah match that trend? We take an in-depth look, county by county, coming up.
And clouds are starting to move into northern Utah. What we do have tonight is a front moving through. If we'll see any precipitation out of this and what you can expect for air quality, I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up.
Utahns are all unique. But no matter what we do or where we play, we're all connected. Because we all breathe the same air to live. So let's do our best to keep it clean.
Unjunk your sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Right now, get a king for a queen or queen for a twin and save up to $500 on Sealy. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase, up to a $499 value. Or shop Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, and get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. In stock for immediate delivery. Only at Mattress Firm.
This is the game in its purest form.
Bringing it on!
The passion lasts a lifetime.
And this place is buzzing now.
The rivalry stay true, and the power of the upset is real. This is the stuff that legends are built on.
Coverage begins Saturday at 9:30 on Fox 13. When severe weather strikes our state, turn to Utah's Weather Authority, the team with more decades of Utah weather expertise than any other news station.
Listen, guys, our numbers are down. I am really concerned with that.
We had that meeting on Tuesday, and again, I'm sorry to say, it was still...
Yeah, I'll take the red snapper at 37 on 2.
We're going to go goal line. Do the X39 free disaster.
Tonight's special is going to be an oven-baked salmon and a 32 sweep reverse with the next disaster.
You're going to get steak, right?
Yeah.
Need more football? USFL launches this April.
Over 1,200 bills, 104 Utah legislators, 45 days, and one Ben Winslow. For the most comprehensive and transparent coverage of the Utah legislative session, trust the man with his finger on the pulse of Utah's political heart.
The decisions they make here affect your life, from the taxes you pay to the laws you live under.
Join Ben Winslow on Fox 13 News live at 5 and always on Twitter. Ongoing coverage only on Fox 13 News.
Welcome back, everyone. In national news tonight, new data shows job recovery is stronger than expected. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, America added 467,000 jobs last month. Restaurants and bars added more than 100,000 jobs. Logistics and business service jobs, they also increased. The January unemployment rate rose to 4%. This is the first time the jobless rate increased since June of 2021.
Bob.
Kelly, behind that big number of nearly 500,000 new jobs, the government provides a lot more information. Fox 13 News reporter Max Roth takes an in-depth look tonight at what those numbers tell us.
The federal numbers show the strength and confidence of the American workforce and employers. The latest numbers from Utah also show strong growth, though that strength doesn't show up everywhere. From January 2021 to last month, 5% more Americans were employed. That's 7 million more Americans working. And as a percentage of the total population, there were 1% more Americans who wanted work or were working. That's 163.7 million people. The numbers show workers have more confidence. 54% fewer Americans were forced from work in 2022. 46% more workers left jobs by choice. The latest numbers from the Utah Department of Workforce Services shows the dark blue counties on this map saw a 5% or greater increase in the number of people employed from December to December. The 4 red counties either lost jobs or saw no increase. Notably, Utah's third most populous county, Davis, lost a few hundred jobs from December to December. It's a reminder of how many jobs funnel into Salt Lake from Davis County, and not just Davis. This chart shows Davis, Utah, and Weber counties have a smaller share of the state's jobs, the green numbers, than their share of the state's people, the blue. Salt Lake County is dramatically different. 36% of the state's people and 46% of the state's jobs. Use the same comparison across all counties. Only Summit, Salt Lake, and Grand counties have significantly larger shares of jobs than people, and Cache County has almost the same percentage of each. Salt Lake's central place in a vast metro area with bedroom communities is one thing. It's more concerning beyond the Wasatch Front. The lower share of jobs shows rural economies are not as strong. In the newsroom, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Inflation is putting pressure on everyone, especially small businesses. Utah Senator Mike Lee sees inflation's effect firsthand today in a story you'll only see on Fox 13 News.
And later in sports, first place in region was on the line between Orem and Alta tonight on the high school basketball court. And the return of number 45, Donovan Mitchell, back on the floor for the first time in nearly 3 weeks. He did not disappoint. Back in a bit.
African-American, bold by nature. We've been through pain.
I'm too far to give up now.
Life is about coming back from a punch. So that we can change the world.
I think it's time to show them how it's done.
That's what I'm talking about.
How to change the way you pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake. Step 3, chow down on the deliciousness. Order the fan favorite cowboy pizza right now at papamurphys.com.
Hey there, Trailblazers. I hope you're enjoying these fine tunes on this afternoon. We're at the top of our hour and we have more music on the way, so stay tuned.
If the character is moving too fast for their stride,
Hello, I'm Marlo Oaks, Utah's state treasurer. 1 in 5 Utahns has lost money, and they probably don't know it. I had no idea I had lost money until I became the treasurer and learned about an overpaid medical bill. Every year, we receive millions of dollars of your overpaid bills, lost deposits, and unpaid insurance benefits. Hey, Bill, you won't know until you go to mycash.utah.gov, search your name, and claim. You may find money you never knew was missing.
I went there for treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, and I was traumatized the whole time I was there.
You know, even from the second I got there, I knew, like, I'm being exploited.
I feel it's my job as a therapist to be an advocate for these patients.
Unfortunately, the training that we were given was a lot of restrain first, talk later.
A very low percentage of them were actually getting the care that they needed.
It was so unfair, and I felt so powerless.
Money is the primary driving factor for them. They treated every single person there, staff and patients included, like a number.
It's a perpetual problem, and who's responsible for it?
The facility, in my opinion, needs to be shut down.
This place is bad.
Fox 13 investigates Patients Unprotected. Monday at 9 on Fox 13 News.
Everything we do affects Utah's air quality. That's why it's important for all Utahns to think of ways to reduce our personal emissions and help improve Utah's air. Together, we can make a big difference. Let's all do our part to live, to breathe.
If Colleen's death has taught us anything, it's that we have to live our best lives now.
Fox's new comedy Pivoting is a hit.
Great work. We gotta work on that.
Critics rave. The cast has excellent chemistry, and it's always fun to watch.
The word fun is weird.
Fun. Plus, it's sharp and timely.
I waited too long to start dating after my divorce.
Put yourself out there.
What is that? Is that a nursing bra?
All new Pivoting on its regular night, Thursday after Call Me Kat on Fox.
I thought about that our business started in 1938. And so 5 years into that business, we were in a world war. I think we're pretty resilient to those challenges.
One business owner says he wasn't sure they'd make it through the pandemic. Now he faces a new challenge, inflation, which is higher than it has been in at least a decade.
And get this, Utah Senator Mike Lee paid that business owner a visit today to discuss the impacts the pandemic has had specifically on food prices.
Fox 13 News reporter Aaron Cox has the exclusive interview.
Among the grocers and the shoppers sits a table of folks who are more than customers.
Peterson's is homey.
Friends who have come to Peterson's Fresh Market in Riverton for at least 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every morning for donuts and coffee.
Good stuff. I've been coming here most of my life.
When we go back 4 generations of my family being involved here, we have lifelong friends.
Brandon Peterson's great-grandfather started the market in 1938. What began with 3 employees has now evolved to a store with more than 100 workers and room to grow, something Brandon wasn't sure would be possible 2 years ago.
When COVID first started and we were in the peak of pandemic buying, and I was probably the most scared I have ever been in my life.
Now labor shortages and supply chain issues have presented Peterson with another set of challenges.
Inbound freight costs, fuel costs, packaging costs, all of those have increased, and so we have to pass those increased costs along to consumers, and it's painful. We're not making any more money at those higher prices.
This new challenge is what brought Senator Mike Lee to Peterson's Market on Friday. Utah senior senator says a lot of this inflation has been caused by government spending.
Here's the tricky thing about inflation, Aaron. Once it kicks in, once prices go up, generally speaking, prices go up, they tend not to go right back down right away.
Senator Lee also believes the supply chain issues has had a huge impact on rising prices. It's why he's proposing a bill that can hopefully change some of the regulations that slow suppliers down.
We've got other federal regulations that are making it difficult for them to offload the material and then get the material offloaded onto a truck. And then other federal regulations that make it more difficult for the trucker to drive from the port across state lines to another state where the products can be unloaded. The Stop the Grinch Act deals with each step of that. Now, this wouldn't solve all of our supply chain problems, but it would meaningfully address a whole lot of them.
Steve Bannister, who teaches economics at the University of Utah, agrees with the direction of Senator Lee's bill. Ultimately, Bannister believes time will heal the market.
Normally, it's sort of self-healing. Acute observers that I follow, economists, are saying the inflation, except for the very low income families, is not as bad as people feel it is. It's just not. But it's very noticeable because every time they go to the grocery store, they see it.
Prices that won't prevent Kathy and her friends from coming to Peterson's for their daily dose of donuts.
It just gets you going for the day.
Senator Lee introduced the Stop the Grinch Act to the Senate in November of 2021. It has been sent to the Committee of Commerce, Science, and Transportation, which Senator Lee is a member of. In Riverton, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. We made it through the week. It was a cold week, and now it's going to be a hazy weekend. Beautiful picture posted in our Facebook group from Chris. Utah's Weather Authority is the name of the group. If you ever want to join, that's where you can post your pictures, your videos, your weather questions, and we do a daily weather discussion too, so you can get your forecast right there. 36 was our high today here in Salt Lake. A normal high is 41. So today we are about 5 degrees below average. That sun will rise tomorrow close to 7:30, and our temperatures tomorrow morning will be a little bit warmer than it was this morning when it was 17 degrees. Tomorrow will be closer to 20 degrees. Right now it's 26 in Salt Lake, 26 for Provo, 25 for Ogden, 12 degrees in Logan and St. George right now, currently 40 degrees. Satellite and radar showing you clouds starting to move in. This is a front that is going to move through, a dry front, bring us some clouds, and that's basically it as we head into early Saturday. The clouds will quickly move to the southern half of the state during the second half of the day or late morning. So last few hours this evening, we've had clear sky, Cedar Fort, Tooele, Harriman, Magna, Salt Lake, Layton, Ogden, Brigham City, Logan, Lehigh, Fairfield, Eureka, Provo, down and up through Park City and Heber. And our top headlines for you on this Friday night: we'll have moderate air quality this weekend, dry cold front early Saturday, and then we'll have a few additional dry fronts over the next week, but overall they're not going to produce much precipitation, if any. And then we'll have temperatures tomorrow morning close to 20 degrees as you're waking up along the Wasatch Front. 23 degrees at 6 a.m., 23 degrees at 8 a.m. with mostly sunny sky, and by 10 o'clock in the morning, sunshine and temperatures back into the 30s. For Saturday and Sunday, we'll have voluntary action and moderate air quality here in the Salt Lake Valley, and our temperatures at 7 a.m. close to about 15 degrees for Eagle Mountain, for Provo, for the Tooele area, Salt Lake and Ogden, low 20s at that time. Cedar City 15, Milford 12 degrees, and then at Provo, Park City, Evanston, all in the teens. Logan close to 10 degrees first thing tomorrow morning. And then as we look at the afternoon hours, Wasatch Front mainly close to about 40 degrees. So it'll be a chilly day tomorrow, you know, compared to a summer temperature, but this will be pretty seasonal for this time of year. And our precipitation outlook is bleak. So as I show you this precipitation outlook, this is days 6 to 10. So this is the 10th of February through the 14th, through Valentine's Day. Don't forget, that's coming up. Put that on your to-do list to grab something, a card at least. We do have dry conditions here across the region and country for days 6 to 10. And then as we look at the precipitation outlook for week 2, so this takes us through the 18th of February. This will also keep us drier than usual here out west. Temperatures in St. George close to 60 through Monday, closer to 65 to 70 Tuesday through next week. And for the Wasatch Front, your 10-day forecast, low 40s this weekend, mid 40s Monday through middle of next week. By next weekend, we're closer to 50 degrees. See a few more clouds through the middle of the month, but overall a very dry forecast for the first half of February.
I broke my foot when I was 15 or 16 at the ARS, and that was really the last time I missed significant time for an injury. I like to digest and trying to figure it out, obviously on the fly, not having something like this before. It's a stupid thing to think, but when you see people get injured, you're like, man, I wonder what that feels like. And I'd always wondered. No, it didn't feel good at all.
Joe Ingles this morning describing what it was like to go down for the season with that ACL tear. And though Ingles has vowed to return to the court as soon as 10 months from now, another key piece returned to the floor for the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell missing the last 8 games, trapped inside that NBA concussion protocol. Hosting Brooklyn tonight, the Jazz just 2-6 in spite of his absence. Well, the Nets were without both James Harden and Kevin Durant. And here he goes, number 45, hot from the jump. Boy, did we miss that stroke. The Jazz up 10-0 to start. Bojan Bogdanovic will have to do more now with Ingles out, make that 15-2 Utah. The Rook, Jared Butler, setting the table for Hassan Whiteside. The Jazz outscoring them by 9 after one quarter and by 12 in quarter 2, which is where we pick back up with Mitchell here. Step back to lose his guy. That alone worth the price of admission. Mitchell did not miss from the backwoods tonight. I mean, he did, but not a lot. 6 of 7 from 3 country, 8 of 10 overall. and a team-high 27 points. Another lopsided quarter, this time in the third, 125-102. It's the Jazz's first win streak since the 3rd and 5th of January.
The shots were falling, so we got to get back, continue to get back into better shape. You know, I've only played 20 minutes tonight, so I'm gonna get some running in tonight and then get back to it before Monday.
High school hoops, this is 18-1 Orem entertaining Alta, first place in Region 8, also on the line. Ethan Stoddard strong inside the paint for 2 of his 12. Other end, Jackson Johnson from the corner with 3 on his mind. Tigers answering here, Dane Christensen from deep himself to keep it close. But then Alta goes off. How about Jet Lundberg with the root beer float? A game-high 26 for Lundberg. Jackson Hayden adding to it. 60-45, a rare loss for Orem as Alta takes over first place. After snapping a 10-game losing streak this week, beating Oregon State, an Elite 8 team from a year ago, Utah tomorrow will try and make it 2 in a row, hosting Oregon at 6:30, a game you can see on the Fox Business Network, and then FS1 after that once the NASCAR race is over. The Lady Utes hosting Washington tonight. Tight game most of the way. Britta Maxwell drops a triple off balance to lift Utes up 5 in the third, 14 for Maxwell off the bench. Then to snap a 63-all tie in the fourth. Big shot, Peyton McFarland. Lynn Roberts bench outscoring her starters 52-26 in this one. Last chance UW. There it is, their first win streak since before Christmas. And the third-ranked Red Rocks leaving the state of Utah for the first time this season, only to notch a perfect 10 for the second consecutive week. Last week it was Miley O'Keefe on the beam. Tonight, Grace McCallum flawless on the bars. Tom Farden has a really good feeling after the dismount. UCLA had a 10 of their own on the floor, but Utah just squeaked out a razor-thin victory by a 1/10 of a point. We'll be right back.
World's worst dancer. Angry puppeteer? A terrible charades player. Oh! Saying no to underage drinking because it protects my developing brain. Yeah.
For most of us, our biggest monthly expense is the house payment. Well, here's some great news. 1.550% fixed rate mortgages. I'm John Stevens, president of SRE.com, where you'll find 15-year fixed rate home loans as low as 1.550% APR. Now, more of your monthly payment can go towards principal, so your equity grows much faster. Plus, you'll receive a 20% rebate on loan commissions, which could be worth thousands. Apply online at SRE.com today.
Been thinking about updating your home? Well, I've got good news. There's no better time than right now at RC Willey.
During our Super Weekend Sale, you'll find special savings in every department just in time for the big game. Save now on top brand TVs, including this Sony 75-inch 4K TV, now just $9.99. And this Samsung 85-inch 4K TV is $14.99. Hurry in for savings on sofas, sectionals, recliners, and much more. Plus, this heated throw blanket is just $5 with purchase. RC Willey.
For 35 years, Bathfitter makes it easy to remodel your bath or shower.
Hi, I'm Bill Booman.
And I'm Rick Booman from Bathfitter. From your free in-home consultation to your installation, we're with you every step of the way, all backed by our lifetime warranty.
Bathfitter's exclusive seamless wall surround gives you the look of tile, slate, or marble. You'll love the result.
Save time and money with Bathfitter.
From Logan to St. George, we serve all of Utah. Call now and receive up to $450 off or 18 months no interest. It's better with Bathfitter.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Usaa, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Join Jenny Hardman on Fox 13's The Place for Journeys with Jenny as she takes you on adventures to unique, breathtaking, and fun places around the state. Brought to you by the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. See how adventure looks on you. Your spot is out there. Find your Frontier in the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier with 310 horsepower standard, advanced tech, and 281 pound-feet of torque. Shop NissanUSA.com or your local Nissan store today for great offers.
Join Fox 13 Sports Morgan Vance, part of Utah's #1 news team.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Quickcast is next.
Don't get jerked around.
Get